I'm going to model this old payphone, coin-operated payphone, and as you can see, I'm not even quite finished yet. I'm literally only a couple of steps ahead of you. So this is the reference image that I'm going to be using to model against, and you can download this. I'll just leave the link in the description, and as I get further along with this, I'll provide an updated reference. But for now, we're going to use this, and we should be able to get a lot of this done. We're not going to do the coin thing today, but we should be able to do quite a bit of this, and then we'll leave the coin thing and the phone and the cord and whatever else, the cradle for the phone, for another time. So I just brought in the reference and I pressed S3 to scale it. What am I doing? I'm going to put this here for now. Actually, I'm going to try to get this up here, and let's just go ahead with this. Actually, let's move this back and bring in our first primitive, which is going to be the cube this time. And then let's move this a little bit. Let's go GX a little bit and see how close we can get this. Okay, I'm going to scale this up a little bit. I think we're probably pretty good. We're going to be off the diagram a little bit. I'm going to box select the top, and we're going to pull it down. So yeah, like I say, we'll be off the diagram a little bit, but we're going to get something that looks like a phone, hopefully. I'm going to grab the bottom, and I'm going to come to here. Now, one thing I didn't think about, actually, is the fact that the back potentially could be flat, so we could rest against the wall or rest against, some other structure. So I think we'll deal with that later on. So let's come down to there, and then let's press E to extrude, come down here, S to scale. So very easy kind of modeling at first. And we'll come down to here, and let's come right down to sort of like the base. E and S, and come out, hold shift if you have to move a little bit slower. E to extrude, and come down to about the middle of that beveled area, and come out. E to extrude, and come down. Okay, there is the main shape of the phone. Now let's think about this. I'm going to hide that for the moment. If we do want to get the back flat, what I was thinking, let's try this. Let's go ahead and bevel these the way we would want. I'm going to put 5 in there, do it like that. And let's grab these back ones, and let's also bevel them with 5. So I'm not going to worry about the rounding of the back. At this point, let's grab the bottom and bevel it. Whether you use 5 or 3 doesn't really matter. This is not going to be low poly by any means, and I'm not trying to. Okay, so we have that. Okay, on top there is another piece, so I'm going to make that. I'm going to grab this and see how close it looks. It looks pretty close. I'm going to shift D to duplicate it. I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to P to break it out. So I've got that, and then I'm going to extrude it back down until it touches and delete that face. Then I'm going to select that face, and I'm going to Control B, but you know what? I'll stick with the 5. It's overkill, but it's going to look a little bit nicer. I'll go ahead and I'll smooth this, and we'll see if we need auto smooth and what we need. We're going to need to bevel some of these edges, so I won't auto smooth yet. I'm going to come to this one. I'm going to go back to 3 edges though. There. And this one will bevel just a little bit. And this one, this edge here, and even this one on the inside. So that's what we end up with. Okay, I'm going to put on the cavity shader now, and we can see it. Alright, so we got the top piece. Let's go ahead and do the coin slots there. My 3D cursor is right there, so I'm going to bring in a plane. And let's look from the front. I'm going to scale it, and I'm going to go to, I think I'll go to the size of the coin part first. All right, so it's kind of near the front. I'm going to take these back ones, and here, you know, just look at the diagram over here and try to decide how big you want this to be. Don't make it too wide, but, you know, I'll go with that. All right, we'll start with that anyhow. And then I'm going to extrude up. I'll go back into wireframe and then S to scale. So it'll start to get narrower. And then I'm going to, what should I do here? Let's see. I might scale in the Y a little bit more. Sort of tilt it in like that. Okay. Grab that. E and S, and we'll come down and I can adjust this. Okay. All right, sometimes that'll happen. That's close enough. All right, back to selecting our edges, and that is better. Something went wrong. Okay, Control B, pull. I'm going to put 5 edges in there. Select this one. I'll do 3 here. Control B. Roll back. There's 2, 3. I'm going to put 3 here. And I'm probably okay just putting 3 at the top. All right, good. Okay. So now we're going to do the holes, and the holes may be off a little bit based on how much I've beveled, so that's okay. I'm going to bring in a cylinder, and I'm going to leave it at the default 32. Scale it down, rotate X 90, G to grab, scale it down until it fits, but I don't want to cross these edges, and I do want to bevel, but that should be okay there, except it's not in the right position. And I think I'll have it not go all the way through. So I can turn on that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So now I'll take it, Shift D, I'm going to pull it over. I'm going to scale it down so we have like a quarter, a dime, and a nickel. Just something like that, just make some circles. And we'll look down from the top in wireframe, and I want them to go to the same distance, so I'm just going to select them all. I'm going to scale Y0, and I can always adjust the distance in. Just look to see that I'm not crossing and have a little bit of room for a bevel. Now it looks actually like I have more room on this side, so I'm just going to take these and just move them a little bit. So okay, so the diagram is one thing, or the reference is one thing, and the actual model is another. Double check that. Yeah, see that piece, that would give me trouble. So I'm going to flip that, and I'm going to flip that. Okay, so we should be good to go. What am I doing? There it is. No, it isn't. Okay. I do want that outline selected. Okay, so I'm going to do a Boolean on that. So I'm going to choose Boolean. I'm going to choose fast, and I'm going to use the eyedropper there. Apply. I don't need, yes I do actually. I'm just going to hide those and have a look. And let's see. I might pull these back in a little ways. Okay. And I kept those because there's actually like little holes in behind. So I'm going to Alt-H to bring those back. I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to switch to individual origins and S to scale. And do that. I'll look in wireframe. And I'm going to pull them down. And I think, yeah, okay, we can individually move these into place. Or they're centered at least with respect to these, so just up or down. Control L to select the whole thing. That one's good. This one I'll just pull down here. So They're roughly in the spaces that we would want them. It's just a question of whether or not they go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale Y, just make them really long, and see if I can punch them through. So there's a hole through the back side. And this one's a little bit short, so I'll just bring it out a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to do another Boolean on this guy. I'll go to fast again and choose that. Apply, and I don't need those anymore. So I have that, and I could try just a bevel like that, but I don't think I'm going to get what I want. So I think I'm going to manually bevel, and we'll see how these edges are. This one might be a problem, but although I don't really think so. So let's have a look. Control B and pull. Starting to go down that edge in a weird way. Let's see if I put a few edges in there. It's not too nice. And so what I might do is I might come up. I want it as perpendicular as I can. I might take this one and come right to that middle point, J to join, and get rid of that one, dissolve that one. And then let's just have a look and see if that helped at all for the shape of this bevel. I think it did. And so I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to take a point like this and this one. So I'm coming off as perpendicular to this circle as I can. I probably could have used this one. But let's dissolve that edge. And let's go back and bevel these again. And in the end, it should work out. Just want to do that. We'll smooth it later. And let's do the same. We're never going to see it from the back, so I'm just going to do the fronts here. And those should be just fine, like that. And let's shade smooth, and then add weighted normal, and normal's auto smooth. All right. And we've got a little bit of funniness, but what I need to do is I think I just need to drag an edge in here. So we'll drag an edge down close to the end for all of these, and we should be okay. All right, might be a little thick, but that's it. And we'll deal with shading on everything else later. Okay, so we're doing good, and it's still looking pretty much like the diagram. Pretty much. Okay, so we've got the 3D cursor right in the middle there. Let's make sure that we're sort of central by just grabbing something there. We're going to do this piece here. So let's go ahead and bring in a plane, rotate X 90, and get the shape. I'm looking at the outer border of that looks good. And we do have to watch out for the beveled edges here. So I may have to make this a little smaller in order to fit. So actually I think I'm going to pull that one in a little bit to just give us a little bit more room. So sometimes we have to make those adjustments. Anyways, with that done, I'm going to press I to inset, come into here, and we have that now. And what I'll do is, I want to create a little indent, so I'm going to press I to inset one more time. All right, we'll use that in a bit. So I'm going to take this, extrude it back like that. I'm going to, in face selection, Shift Alt and click here, E to extrude. I'm going to pull that back a bit, and I'm going to pull this out just a little bit above. Okay, and now I'm going to grab these edges here on the corners. Very simple stuff to do. And I'll bevel them by eye without bothering with the diagram. And I want 5 in there. I'll take this and bevel, but we'll just go for 3. And both of these edges, and we'll go for 3. Take that and push it back in. We can Alt and recalculate outside just to be sure. So we have that. Okay. And we're going to need a space inside here. So I'm going to just drop an edge loop down, pull it over. We'll look in wireframe. And I'm going to pull it GX until it's underneath this. Now, maybe I'll just actually split this using the bevel, and then Shift Alt and click this one and go GX. And I'm going to come to here. No, you know what? I changed my mind. I'll use this edge, GX, and we're going to inset it a little bit. And I'll use this edge. I'm going to add another one here. And I'm going to add another one here. I'm going to come back to here. So I'm using this edge, but I'm going to inset just a little bit, just to get it away from the edges, and I'm going to push it in. I'll get rid of that face for now, and then I will get this edge, Shift D to duplicate it, pull it out, P to break it out, and we'll make like a little border out of this thing here. Let's look from the front. I'm going to put a face on it, and then I'm going to inset. We'll do it that way. And then I'm going to extrude back like that. And then I'm going to grab these edges and I'm going to extrude them back a little bit. And then I'm going to round these. And then we'll have a look at where we're at. All right. Control B. I'm going to put 5. And then I'm going to come over here to this edge and I'll do it 3. Roll back, there's 2, 3, no, that might have been 4. Same thing on this one. Now we'll take this and we'll push it in. That's the coin return slot. And I can just scale this up a little bit, and that's fine. Let's flip these in case we need to recalculate outside. Probably I'll end up moving this back. We'll see how far. But I'm going to actually bevel that edge. Let's see how similar to the diagram that is. Well, it's not too bad. We'll make that a little bit smaller. And that should be okay. Unless there's any way I can make this bigger. Not really necessary. Unless I want bigger edges or something. I'll Shift Alt and click there. Control plus a couple times. Even to there. And then I could just scale it. And I could scale it in the axe just a little bit to even it out. And then it goes over there. Alright, I'm just going to leave it like that and say it's good. And we need this piece, and I'll try to make it a similar size. So what I'll do is I'll take this sort of outer edge, or one of these outer edges, and I'll Shift D, I'll duplicate it, pull it down, P and break it out, and we'll use this to build that. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Alright, I mean, it's relative to the other one, it's pretty close, so I'm going to pull it up there, I'm going to box select here, pull it down there, so that's going to be it. And let's go over to here. Okay, so I'm going to F to make a face. And I'm going to inset a little bit, but try not to cross my edges. Just inset just a little bit like that. I can S to scale if I want at that point. And then I'm going to inset again, just a little bit, so that I have an area here that I can push back. I'll do that in a moment. I'm going to take this one and push it back. And then I'm going to take this edge, and hopefully that's not too much, although sometimes you have to exaggerate so that these things are visible. I'll grab these edges and we'll bevel them with 3. Okay, without crossing. No, I did cross. Okay, that's not good there. So I'm going to fix this up. I don't like that curve, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to delete that. I'm going to focus on that. And I'm going to put a face on there. And I'm going to inset a little bit like that. And then I'm going to, what did I do? I'm going to pull this out. I'm not sure I did what I needed. There, I'm going to extrude and pull it out. And I don't mind if it's a little bit in front. I think that would look good. I could snap it. I like that better. Control B. put a bevel, grab this edge, put a bevel, and let's not forget this edge with 3 or more. But with shading smooth, it'll look fine. Let's bring that back and take the whole thing, pull it in. And because I did some funny stuff, I'm just going to see Alt N, recalculate outside. Okay. Yeah, so like with respect to shading, you just add weighted normal, and normal's auto smooth. So let's check and see if everybody is facing the right way. Everybody's doing great. All right, I'm going to make an adjustment here. I'm going to switch this to both. I'm going to bring these up. It'll just look a little nicer. Okay, so this is what we have so far. All right, the back is still like that. It's not flat, but we'll think about that. Maybe. Okay, wireframe. So we need this one here. So let's just make that 3D cursors right in the middle. Shift to A, mesh plane. It's very straightforward. Rotate X 90, in case I didn't say that already. And I'm just going to scale it in a little bit. Grab this upper edge, pull it down to there. And this one here will go down to there. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to eye to inset. Eye to inset. So that was twice. And now we'll have a look at this. We're going to take this edge and extrude it back. And we are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to take both of these. No, we're not. This one is, what have I done? Okay. This one is coming out. Ah, right. And that one will leave right there to put the menu on, or not the menu, but the information. Gosh. All right, that's fine. And we grab these, we'll give them a nice bevel. You can look at the diagram if you want, or you can just do whatever you want. All right, we'll take this edge and this edge and this edge. We'll bevel, but I should be okay just with 3. Like that, yeah. Pull that in. Okay, it's starting to look good. Let's get up to the dial. That's the interesting stuff now. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make this piece here first of all. So I'm going to bring in a circle. And I'm actually going to use 64 vertices. So yeah, that's going to be quite a bit. But I want this pretty rounded without using a subdivision. I'm going to scale in to the approximate size of this guy. Just like that. F to make face. And we'll start with that, and let's bring the 3D cursor right there now too. Back in object mode, I'm going to bring a cylinder to make these holes. So a cylinder, I'm going to go for 32 and make it nice and smooth. Scale it down. Rotate X 90. Now, this thing is turned, and so I'm going to sort of eyeball the size of those. Make sure it goes through. And then with my 3D cursor there in an edit mode, I'm going to come down here to the spin tool in the Y. And I'm just going to grab that and pull it and make it 360 degrees with 12 steps. That'll give me my 12 pulls. And if they seem like they're too close, and I don't really think they are, you could in individual origin start scaling them down. I mean, I could do that. And then if you wanted to in median point, you could scale and then pull them out. I do want a little bit of room, but anyways, they're okay where they are, I think. So I'm going to do Boolean on this piece here. So I'm going to take this and do Boolean. I'll switch it to fast. And the eyedroppers, those apply. I don't need those anymore, so I now have that. Okay. And and this guy is simply going to be extruded back. I could get rid of back faces, and I think I will. I don't think you'll ever see that. Shade smooth, and then we'll add our weighted normal, and normal's auto smooth, and I think that's going to be fine. Now, this is turned, all right, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. 3D cursor right there. I'm going to bring in another circle. I'm going to do this one at 32 is really overkill. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it at 18, and then I'll probably put a subdivision on it. Rotate X 90. Just get the shape. And for this, extrude in like that. Let's have a little gap. And let's have to make a face. Let's go back to it now. Pull it out a little bit. And let's extrude this back. That's going to come back quite a ways. And here we'll just push in. And this thing I may want to actually pull out and have above. And then bevel it back really nicely like this with a few segments. And then I'll grab both of these. Control B and just put 3 on there. Okay, and then I was thinking of Control 1 or Control 2. We'll see. Let's just focus on that and have a look at that. In the end, I probably would do 2 just to make it look a little bit nicer. I'll apply that later and we'll be good to go. The only thing is, in actuality, I don't like this bevel here. I'm going to dissolve this. I want this somewhat more rounded. I'm going to put a few more segments. I want it like that. All right, all good. Now I'm going to go back to the cavity shader, and that's what we get. We'll position this later. It won't be out that far. Actually, I'll position some of this right now. And let's go in here and pull it in. And let's make sure that those are facing outwards and that this is cool. All right, so far so good. I won't spin it yet. Now, this thing, this is an interesting one. Let's do this. We're going to bring in a circle, and I'm going to go for I'm going to go for 32 vertices. Scale it down. Rotate X 90. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it up here. Scale it down. I'm trying to get this shape. All right, I'm going to get rid of the bottom. All right, and I'm going to actually be taking these and extruding them down. I'm going to scale in it a bit more, and it is a little bit, you know, touch and go. It's hard to get it perfect. So we're going to give it a try. I'm going to F to make a face. I'm going to select it all, F to make a face, and I want to spin this. And what I have found, and it may always be true, is that I need some thickness on it. So I'm going to do that. I still got my 3D cursor right there, and so I'm going to come down to the spin tool and do the same kind of thing, but 360 degrees like that. So take it all, Alt-N, recalculate outside. Sometimes they're flipped. Okay, I'm going to go with that and focus on that. Come back in, and in face selection, I'm going to select the back face. So I'm just holding Shift, selecting the back faces as we go around, and then Control plus to expand my selection and delete those faces. That just leaves that. Okay, I'm going to go into vertex selection, and I'm going to box select there, F to make a face. I'm going to go around, and I'm just getting the edges, the edge vertices, if that makes sense. These two right here, for all of these, to join them up, and then you'll see what I do next. There's lots of different ways to accomplish the same thing in Blender, and I admit when I first looked at this I was a little stumped. It looked simple, and then I was having trouble coming up with a way to do it, and this is what I came up with. Okay, now what I'm going to do is in edge selection, I'm going to select all the edges at the bottom of these dome-like things, just that edge, and we'll get rid of that, and then you'll see what happens. X edges. Now we have that. F to make a face. That's all we wanted. Okay, extrude out, give it a little bit of thickness. Okay, let's bring stuff back, and let's have a look at the diagram. And yeah, Maybe I'll scale it a bit. No, I'm going to leave it about there. All right, fine. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in a circle. I want 64. I want it smoother. And why not in this particular case? Okay, just pull that in again. And let's go through this again. Yeah, oh, good. All right. We're going to do Boolean on that guy. There we go. Get rid of that. Actually, that might be a little thick, but I'll go ahead with my bevel, 0.02. And maybe we'll scale that in a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this outside edge and I'm going to bevel that. And that will do a little bit of a number on my bevel as well. Just like that. And that's okay with me. Like that, I'll shade smooth and okay, I'll keep the bevel on. Sometimes it helps just support everything. And I'll do that. Okay. So I have that piece, still maybe a little bit thick, but that's going to come back here and rest pretty much onto there. And inside it, I need another circle, but that one can be like 18. I think I can probably hide the edges. And I'll have to probably write on that one. That's basically what it's going to be, and then it's just a question of these things being, you know, at some point. Okay. And I think that is probably a decent place to stop for now. Yeah, let's flip all this stuff. There we go. And we need to make sure that there's a little bit of clearance here. So in the end, I may have to take these and scale them in just a little bit. All right. So that is the beginning of our payphone. We got quite a bit done. We should be able to do most, if not all, of the rest of it next time. We got the phone, we got the cradle, we got the cord. We got quite a bit. We got a few locking mechanisms, and we got the coin return thing. And then after that would be texturing. All right, so that's it for now for the payphone, and we'll come back. And once again, just real quick, I'll just fix this up for you so it looks a little bit better. Yeah, we'll be back again soon for the rest of this. Thanks for watching.